Hey guys, Brandon Rouckus here for part 2 on the easiest way to get to soloing on your electric guitar. In part 1 we talked about the A minor pentatonic pattern 4. That was this little box pattern. In the middle of the neck. So we learned it, we can play it, great. What do we do with it? Well, we have to apply it. Basically soloing is playing single notes most of the time on top of chord progressions. Those are certain chords played in sequence and usually within the same key, definitely for a beginner solo guitar. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply this scale on top of a chord progression, and then later we're going to apply a variation of that scale with a little more technique that will allow you to construct a guitar solo, to improvise, and to really express yourself in kind of the coolest way possible as a beginner. So we're going to start out with a chord progression that begins on the C chord. If you don't know how to play this chord, you put your third finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string or the A string, second finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string or the D string, and your first finger on the 1st fret of the B string. Sounds like this. Next chord is a G major chord. I like to play this with my pinky on the high tonic here. So your pinky's going to go on the 3rd fret of the 1st string or the high E string, and then your 3rd finger, your ring finger, goes on the 3rd fret on the 6th string. And remember, these are going to be the same note because those are both E's. Both of those strings are the same note. So now if we're pressing on the same fret, they're both G's. So pinky finger, 3rd fret, high string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret, 6th string, low E string, and then the 2nd finger goes on the 2nd fret on the A string or the 5th string. We have that nice happy G chord. From there, the last chord we're going to play is an A minor chord. So we're going to play the A string, the 5th string open, and then our 2nd and 3rd finger are going to be right next to each other on the 2nd fret of the 4th and the 3rd string. And then the 1st finger goes again on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, the B string, and the chord sounds like this. Alright, next we are going to apply these chords and we're going to play a chord progression. So the specific progression I chose is from a Lynyrd Skynyrd song called Simple Man, which is actually one of my favorite songs, and I feel that it's a great way to start soloing on the guitar because it's a very comfortable chord progression to play on top of, and wouldn't you know it, the A minor pentatonic scale meshes perfectly with the chords that are in this song. I'm not going to be playing the arpeggiated version that they do on the record, but I'll be strumming the chords in quarter notes, and that is going to sound like this. Alright, let's apply this scale. I'm just going to basically play minor pentatonic pattern 4, the little box pattern that we learned, up and down, back and forth, to see how it sounds against our chord progression. Okay, so we played our first solo. Now, although everything worked technically, like the notes were in the right key, they fit together with our chord progression, that was a little boring. I'm going to show you another way of playing this scale that's an extended version that will allow you to develop technique and get a little more coverage on the fretboard so you can really express yourself in a cooler and a better sounding way that will allow you to construct solos and improvise rather than being stuck in this box, so to speak. Not to discount what we just learned here, because There are many guitar solos, and there's a lot of really great licks that are going to come out of this scale. So it is essential that you learn that minor pentatonic pattern 4. But right now we're going to expand upon that, and it goes like this. All right, in order to get some more interesting sounds and to learn a little technique and to cover more area on the fretboard to allow for more opportunity for expression on our soloing and on all aspects of our guitar playing, to be honest, we're going to do a little extension of that pentatonic pattern number 4. So here was our box pattern before, remembering that the main notes are the A, the tonic notes, if you're playing an A minor pentatonic, the main tonic, and then the octaves. We're going to essentially play all the same notes in that scale, just in a different place. So we still start here, but now we play it with our 3rd finger, and that's on the 5th fret on the 6th string. Next, we play what we would have played here with our pinky with the 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So we have, and then the next tone is with our 3rd finger again on the 5th string. One more time on the 5th string, but this time we're going to slide up. So all together it sounds like this. 5th fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret again, slide up to the 7th fret. Now we're back in our box pattern. And it just repeats. We slide again. That works because we're playing the same notes just in a different octave. Some of the beauty about the guitar is the repetition. Once you figure out how to navigate by looking at the octaves and finding the symmetrical repetitions, the patterns. So we have this nice little pattern that repeats. Because of the way the guitar is tuned, when we get to the B string, our symmetrical pattern changes, but the sequence is still the same. The notes are still the same. If we were to play the box pattern, it would sound like this. With our new extended pattern, it sounds like this. So after we make that slide extension from the octave here, take your 2nd finger and put it on a G note on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and then slide that up to an A note. You don't have to use your 2nd finger here. You can also use your 1st finger if it's more comfortable on that 8th fret, which gives you an opportunity to easily land your 3rd finger on that A note on the 2nd string, which is on the 10th fret. So this is exactly the same notes as playing this scale here. Except, now that we play it with this extension, we get the little slides and we get to cover more area that allows for some more interesting tones to come out of your scale or your solo. All right, now let's use this extension and apply it to the chord progression and see if the solo result sounds a little more interesting than just playing that minor pentatonic box pattern up and down. Alright, so that is your extended minor pentatonic pattern that should allow for some more interesting ways of expressing yourself as a solo guitarist. Now keep in mind, all I did was really play the same notes in a different location, just kind of up and down, And I added slides in there. I added some hammer-ons. Slides are moving up to a note by sliding to it. Hammer-ons are playing a note before and then kind of crashing down on the next note above the note that you just picked. And really, there's a lot more you can do. You can add bends. You can learn other guitar solos and apply those licks to the pattern that you're playing in, or the solo that you're improvising over your chord progression. So my advice to you from this point would be to figure out a chord progression that you like, find a scale that sounds good with it, find a way to record your progression, or have a friend of yours play that progression while you go back and forth and try to solo on top of it. Using these little patterns and trying out different tricks, just do whatever comes naturally to you and really pay attention to what sounds good. Take note of your ears and what you like and what seems like it's consonant, meaning it sounds good, and what's dissonant, which means, it doesn't really sound well, something's wrong. So best things to land on are always going to be your tonic notes. If you're playing an A, find all your A's, land on them whenever that A chord comes around. And the same goes for every chord. If you're playing on a C chord, D chord, whatever, land on the notes of the tonic. And then later we'll expand upon this idea and find more interesting notes to land on and some more interesting techniques for you to solo on the guitar. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time.